Hi guys, so today I'm gonna talk about my wedding makeup. My skin is still not doing great. It's been on and off and it's very upsetting. I did a couple of videos about my skin recently, and if you guys want another one, I'm happy to share. Essentially right now the plan with my dermatologist is to keep doing what I'm doing, hoping it'll be clear for the day of like it was for my shower. And then they're also going to give me a 5-day course of prednisone, which is a steroid, the week before the wedding, so that it'll just kind of clear everything out for the wedding, and then it'll probably go back to the way it is right after. But just for the day of the wedding, they want to help make sure that it's clear. So right now that's the plan, but I want to talk about my makeup. So because my skin has been so bad, I haven't really had a chance to test out different makeup looks or even different makeup products, just because I don't want to put anything on my skin to make it worse. Last time I wore a full face of makeup was at my bridal shower, and I'll put in a picture here. There is a picture on my Instagram as well, and that day all of a sudden I woke up, my skin was clear. It was like a miracle. My skin looked great that day, my makeup looked great, and that was essentially the makeup I want to do for the wedding. Maybe like a little bit more, just because there'll be more professional photos. It looked really good, but the day after I actually ended up breaking out my eyelids severely. I had like this major rash on my eyelids. It was super itchy and irritated and swollen. And I think, gross as it is, I think that it was because some of my makeup is pretty old. I haven't been wearing makeup a lot, obviously, since like the pandemic, like everyone else, and a lot of my makeup is old. So I've repurchased some stuff, bought some new stuff to try out, and I'm gonna get rid of some stuff, which I'm gonna show you as well. So yes, I am gonna be doing my own hair and makeup day of the wedding. Why? Budget. Also, I've never had my hair and makeup done professionally and didn't liked it ever. I've never liked the way it looked. I've never liked the way it felt, and that's almost more important than the way it looks to me, is that I don't like people using products I'm not familiar with. Even if I did like a test makeup, I like the products I know I like products I know I have experience with that feel okay on my skin. I don't want to be feeling like there's makeup on my skin. I want to know what it feels like. I want to know that it's how I know it works, you know what I mean? Mascara, everything. I want it to be stuff I have experience with. Same with hair. I'm actually just gonna leave my hair down. I'm not doing anything special with it. I'm gonna probably do what I did at the shower, but more volume. I will be getting my hair cut so it's like fresh and not so gross, but it'll essentially be like very large, voluminous waves. Not so much like this, but all more like curled under with big curlers. I'll be leaving in my hair the morning of while I do my makeup and stuff. But yeah, there's not much to talk about when it comes to that. Makeup wise, I'm gonna kind of run through what I plan on doing, what I'm not sure I'm doing, what I'm getting rid of, and like all that kind of good stuff. You guys seem interested in it, and I wanted to share. So let me share some of the stuff I got rid of initially, just because the day I used a lot of this the day of the shower, and I'm not sure what it is that caused the reaction, but I just don't want that to happen. So one, sadly, is the Milani Brow Fix Brow Kit. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know I love this. This was like my holy grail to fill in my brows. I loved it. The colors, and then this highlight shade was amazing for the eyelid. It was like shimmer, but not too much shimmer. It was like a peachy champagne, just perfect. I've probably had this, it's like gross, probably how long I've had this, at least 5 or 6 years. They don't even make this product anymore, which tells you something. But I used the brow shade for my brows to fill in, as well as with brow gel, but then I used the highlight shade on my lid, and I'm quite sure that that may have been what caused the breakout. So this is old. Another thing that may have caused the breakout is from Wet n Wild. It is one of their limited edition quads. This is the one I've been using for years. This is like my second one of it. I think I bought 2 at the time. And it's the one that was actually like wrong. Like there's 2 of the same shade in here. It wasn't supposed to happen. Like it was like very strange. This shade right here, the matte one, was my go-to, like this mauve shade. I love it for the crease. So I picked this up and I used it, and it looked great. But this palette is gotta be at least 6 years old and gross. And they don't make this anymore, so I'm very bummed. I'm trying to find a shade that looks like this. which I will get into, but these probably are gonna go in the trash. While I was looking at those to throw away because they're so old, I found a old Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells, like old, you know? And then also this, you guys are gonna lose your mind if you're my age. This Maybelline quad, this was like what I used in college. I don't even think they make this anymore. Yuck. So pretty gross. Now let's get into the makeup. So I'm gonna be getting a facial 3 days before the wedding, and I'm very excited about it. I love my facialist, she's amazing. And with that being said, my goal for the day of makeup is to look like how I did at the shower. Dewy, glowy, but not shiny. Very simple, not a lot of shimmer, but glowy, if that makes sense. Healthy, that's like my goal. Even the girl who did my facial, she's amazing and she does makeup, and honestly, she's one of the only people in my state who I've seen their pictures of the makeup they do. They don't edit it, so that's awesome. She's awesome like that, but also actually looks really good, and like if I were to have someone do it, it would be her, but I think she's booked because I did all this really quick, which my next video will be about the wedding planning. We planned our wedding in 6 months. Sounds impressive? Not that impressive, but I will talk about that in my next video if you're interested. So let's get into it. So every time I wear any kind of face makeup like foundation, tinted moisturizer, I usually start with the Glossier Future Dew Oil Serum Hybrid. I either mix this in with the product I'm using, the coverage product, or put it on first. But this is old. This is quite old, so I didn't want to repurchase it. It is quite expensive. The day of my shower, I did use this. But what I also did was, where is it? This. I bought the e.l.f. Putty Primer, but I bought the new liquid one. So the Putty Primer, if you don't know, it's like a pore filling primer, but it's not supposed to make you look dry or too matte. Now the putty one, this is the texture I've tried in the past, not a fan. When they came out with this, I thought, oh my god, it's lighter weight, it's more like hydrating. So day of the shower, I used this on my T-zone, pretty much anywhere where you can see pores. I used this, let it sink in, and then I mixed this with the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint. Now that day I woke up lucky, my skin was very, very clear, and I used these two, and that was mostly my coverage. I use a little bit of the, where is it? The e.l.f. Color Correcting Eye Brightener in, I think, the second lightest shade. It doesn't actually say on here, which is annoying. Oh wait, it does. Fair. I use the shade Fair. It's like a pinky corrector under the eyes because no matter how clear my skin is, my under eyes are dark. And then I think I touched up with a little bit of the Glossier concealer just for like under the eyes, anywhere that had like a little bit of redness, but these were great. Now I would love to do this the day of the wedding, but I'm afraid this is old. I might use it depending how I feel that day, but what I did buy to kind of replace this for much, much cheaper was the, I know they have like a dupe of it from Milani, they have a dupe of this from e.l.f., but it's a little bit too shimmery, the one from e.l.f., and this is the L'Oreal Visible Lift Radiance Booster Brightening Primer 24-hour Hydration, and honestly it looks just like this. If you put this in your hand and this, they're very, very similar. So I've tried this and it actually feels really good on the skin. It's like $6. I wouldn't say this is 100% dupe, but it's very, very close. If you're mixing it with a foundation anyway, you're probably not going to notice a difference. And this has less scent than this one, so that was nice as well. I might use this, I'm not sure yet. Regardless, day of the shower, I did use this and I mixed it with the Glossier Skin Tint, which I love. I know this is not a lot of coverage, this is nothing for many people, especially for a wedding, but I loved it. I really, really loved it. So this is my holy grail. But if you're aware, Glossier came out with a foundation, like right in the nick of time, about 6 weeks, not even 5 weeks before the wedding, which is right now, it's like 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks. I just got this in the mail yesterday. Now, it's the wrong shade, which is such a bummer, because so what happened is the shade range in this is very large and they kind of redid it, but they compare your shade in the skin tint to this, and I got the one that they suggested, but you can see there's quite a difference. This is much darker. Now, I will be wearing fake tan at the wedding. I'm gonna not be getting a spray tan because I've never done it, don't want to risk it, but I love my fake tan that I use. I used it for the shower for the week leading up to it, and I thought it looked great. So it does make me a little bit deeper, but not enough like that. Just, I don't know, I might not use this. It is more of like a light medium coverage, and this is light coverage, but I think it also will depend how my skin's doing day of. If my skin looks like this day of, I'm definitely going for the more coverage. If my skin looks great, then I'm gonna do as little coverage as possible, honestly, because the less product you use, the better it'll look. If you put too much product on, it's gonna wear off, it's not gonna look as good. The wedding is outside, so naturally, you know, it could be very flattering, and it can also be iffy. Not quite sure what's going on there, but there's a very good chance I'll be using this, especially if the prednisone works and my skin comes out to be very clear day of. Base wise, that's sort of the plan. For concealer, I will probably still gonna use the Glossier Stretch Concealer. I may use the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating if I need it. I used that for my cousin's wedding and I had a really good experience with it, but I don't know if I'll need it. I just really want to keep it as minimal as possible. The two liquid cream products I use for contour or bronzer were these two from e.l.f. I really love these. I have with a Halo Glow Beauty Wand Contour. I have Light and Fair. So this is the fair one. It's quite cool. I really like this for contour. I didn't do much. I think I did a little on my nose and then just the cheekbones and like a little under here because I'm gaining weight and you can kind of see it. And then this one's a little bit warmer. This is light, and I just kind of use this up higher, more of like a tan. Not too much, a little on the forehead, very minimal. I love how these blend out, and they blasted and they looked really good. Now for blush day of, I used, I believe, oh my god, I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure I used a Glossier paint. I don't even remember what they're called. My brain's stopping. But I did layer everything with powder just so it lasted. So I did use the Milani Romantic Rose Powder Blush. This is old, but it looked fine. It didn't bother me. I love the color. So I used a little bit of that. And then I also use a little bit of this Milani bronzer, just a little tiny bit, just to kind of set everything. To set the T-zone, I always use this, the CoverGirl Advanced Radiance Pressed Powder in Classic Beige. It's just not too intense. It's not too powdery. It doesn't look dry. I use a very, very, very small brush and just kind of put it anywhere that looks shiny in the center of my face. I will probably bring this with me in my bag to the actual venue. I did buy this. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. It's a loose powder from Milani. It's called Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Powder. I got translucent. I haven't even tried this yet. I don't even think I've opened it, but I wanted to try it. Not sure if I'll use it, just as like a little bit more intense than a pressed powder, because I know loose powders are apparently better. Not sure. And then finally, the highlight on my face, I was going to use the Glossier highlight, but I decided to go for this one. This is the Essence. I actually got rid of the one I used day of the shower because it was so old, don't even know how old, and I repurchased it. It's only like $4. So I probably will use a tiny brush and maybe a little bit on the cheekbones and like see how I feel. I think I'd use some here as well. Now to get into some of the newer things I got. Actually, this one thing that I will recommend until I'm blue in the face is this e.l.f. setting spray. Don't buy an expensive one from Urban Decay. This one is amazing. It's the Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist, up to 16-hour wear. I've never worn makeup for 16 hours, so I couldn't tell you that, but it's awesome. It's a very fine mist. It lasts, it works. If you want to layer it for each step, great. I'm pretty sure I layered it, I used it once after my foundation, concealer, then put all my cream products, my powder products, and then set it again. And then I think I even set it at the end when I finished my eye makeup as well. This stuff is awesome. Now, day of the shower for the lips, I used two products. I used the NYX lip pencil in Nude Truffle. It's like a very brownish, cool brown. And then this has been my holy grail. I love this. This is the L'Oreal Glow Paradise like tinted balm in the shade 200 Mulberry Bliss. I love it. These shades are much more cool, like a cool cranberry almost. Not too dark, but they kind of just accentuate my natural lip color, and they're awesome, and they're not too brown. I always go for something pretty brown, and it actually doesn't look that good on me. I just like it. But these are much cooler, so awesome. These two were great, and I actually had a lot of compliments on the lip color. Mascara wise, day of, by the time I got home, there was a little underneath here. I wasn't happy with it. I've always had issues with mascara, if you're familiar with my channel. Just hard. I'm not going to be doing false lashes. I can't do it. I'm not comfortable. I've never worn false lashes in my entire life, so I just feel like it'll make me uncomfortable day of, and I don't want that. Lash wise, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I'll talk you through some of my options, but eyeshadow wise, I did buy a new silent treatment from Wet n Wild because this top shade looks sort of similar to this one. It's a little more gray than mauve. Can you see that? it's like this one's a little darker, this one's a little bit more gray. I'm really hoping still to find like a pinker kind of color. I may just risk it and go for this one because this color is perfect. So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do yet there. I did buy the Wet n Wild Mega Last eyeshadow primer because I don't have an eyeshadow primer. So I thought that would be important because my lids crease really bad. And then I bought this on Amazon. I wanted the Urban Decay Naked Mini 2, but it's so expensive and I'm only gonna use it for one day. Like, I don't wear makeup that often. Can I even open this? Like, it looks like this. It's called Color Club. So these are all mattes. And it's just kind of blah, but I thought it would be a good option, but they're so not pigmented and blendable. So that was kind of a mistake. It was super cheap though, so, you know, whatever. If I do use the Silent Treatment palette, I'll just use this shade in the crease, this one on the lid, and then make maybe a little bit of this S2 shimmer in it. But like, I'd probably have somewhere like a darker cool brown just for like right in the outer corner. And then sometimes, oh, I can't remember, I think the day of the shower I may have used this tiny brush with like a dark brown and just kind of brought it from like here onto the lash line for a little bit of definition. I didn't do anything underneath except for a little mascara. Now, mascara wise, I found a product that's pretty cool and it holds a curl. It is from Etude House, which is a Korean brand, I believe. I found it on Amazon because my lashes, my biggest issue with them is that they don't hold a curl. They just fall flat. And that's kind of what you can see when you put mascara on, is the curl. So I bought a clear mascara from Etude House. The brush is like the old-fashioned Maybelline brush. It sucks. And it holds a curl. It's completely clear, but it dries a little white, kind of like if you put gel in your hair. That kind of, like, you can see it, and I didn't want that. But I'm into the whole clean girl look, so like on a day where I'm not wearing makeup, I might fill in my brows and like use that just to show my lashes off without any color. But they do make a brown, I think this is brown or black, it's the same thing. I haven't even used this one yet, but I'm sure it'll be the same. It's called Long Lash Up Curl Fix. Like, it's obviously a Korean brand. But this is actually a primer. So this is the brush, and you can see this one's like a little bit grayish, like a little more brown. It's not as clear. This brush is also way better than the other one, and this one has little fibers in it, so I'm not sure what I'll use. I'm going to test these out a little bit more without putting anything on my skin. Feel pretty confident testing that out. So I'll probably use this one or the clear one as a primer day of. And then for the lashes, I have so many mascaras that I've liked over the years, but I did just buy this one. It is the Luminous Lash Paradise from L'Oreal and waterproof. I'm gonna try this one again. I haven't even opened it yet, but I always remember liking this one, and it might work out. I'm not sure, but I will be trying this out with one of the primers and seeing what happens. After the wedding, I'll probably share like my full routine with you, like what I did and what worked and what didn't. That's essentially my routine for the wedding. To bring with me at the venue to like touch up, I will be bringing the L'Oreal lip color. I will be bringing probably the CoverGirl powder, and then maybe like one brush or something like that, maybe some blush as well, just to touch up, because blush never lasts very long. So those are my options. Those are what I think I'm gonna do as of now. I'm really not sure. Let me know if you guys have any advice, what worked for you on your wedding, if you were breaking out, what you used. You know, I'd love to hear more from you guys. But I think that's kind of it for this video, so look out for the next one because I will be talking about how I planned the wedding. Very exciting stuff.